Singapore Prime Minister Loong says the nation's society is in transition and it must evolve and adapt with changing circumstances. He says it's crucial that its highest office is occupied by someone with the right mix of experience, values and character. Mr. Lee said this during the swearing-in ceremony of the city-state's 9th president, Mr. Tharman Shanmugaratnam. Our reporter Geraldine Yap was at the Istana to witness the ceremony.
Congratulating Mr. Tharman Shanmugaratnam on his decisive victory in the election, Prime Minister Hsien said the strong vote share showed voters' regard for the new president and his message of respect for all. Mr. Lee called the result a positive outcome for Singapore because Singaporeans have chosen a president who is eminently qualified for the position.
This election has shown that when it comes to voting, race is a smaller factor now than it used to be. As you, Mr. President, said on election night, race is a factor in politics everywhere. But Singaporean voters today look at many other factors too. It is indeed a good sign that in a national vote, Singaporeans have elected a candidate from a minority community as president on his merits by an overwhelming majority.
Mr. Lee paid tribute to what he called Mr. Tharman's long and distinguished career in public service. This includes a stint as Managing Director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, various key appointments in Cabinet, and MP of Taman Jurong for 22 years. Mr. Lee said these have prepared Mr. Tharman well for his new responsibilities. The Prime Minister also pledged that his government will work closely with Mr. Tharman to fulfill his international and domestic duties.
The pandemic reminded Singaporeans what an enormous advantage it is to have adequate reserves to draw upon in a dire situation. COVID-19 called for an aggressive whole-of-nation response to support lives and livelihoods. Given your wealth of experience in economic and financial matters and your familiarity with how the system of the second key works, I have every confidence in your ability to fulfill this important duty. I pledge my government's full support and cooperation as we operate this unique system to protect our reserves and key appointments.
On his part, Mr. Tharman committed to working with the government and the entire nation to strengthen multiracialism and nurture a more inclusive society. In particular, he said he wants to lend active support to the arts and sports, which are areas he said Singapore has made significant strides in over the years.
As President, I will promote greater interactions between our different communities, even as we ensure the vibrance of our different cultures. It may be by encouraging our youth to play sports that are currently played mainly by a particular ethnic group, learning one another's art forms, or promoting collaborations between our self-help groups, our various community organizations, and our business chambers.
Mr. Tharman added that he will be scrupulous and independent in safeguarding the reserves and deciding whether to use them for future crises. This is as Singapore will face longer-term threats to its existence, such as climate change.
Should the need arise in future to use the reserves to tackle such crises and existential threats, we will weigh the matter carefully. We will have to balance between meeting immediate needs and preserving the reserves so that every generation, now and in the future, enjoys their benefits.
Mr. Tharman also pledged to do his best to represent Singapore's interests abroad and help Singapore find its way forward amid global tensions. He said he looks forward to working constructively with the government and thanked former President Halimah Yacob for her service as well as counsel and advice.